sunny California, which is much better than Iowa right now. Tell us a little bit about your business here real quick so we can kind of familiarize with what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Briana Layfield. I'm the president and founder of XAG LLC. We're based in Temecula, California. We started in 2019 doing specialty crop application here throughout the state. We've operated statewide since we started. So we work with several growers, universities. We work with different chemical companies doing research and development and looking at crop-specific efficacy, as well as dialing in different drone manufacturers and their equipment for specialty crop application.
Which is a lot of things.
It's a lot of things. We do a lot of things. So yes, we also do habitat restoration, we do vector control, and we also do fire prevention. So those are all things all verticals where we found good use cases for this equipment.
Which is important in California.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So you really fit into this environment. You really kind of encapsulate this area, I think, and you're one of the best people I know over the last many years that have been actually out and delivering results and actually trying to work very hard to make a living, but also to really kind of set the bar for everybody, I think, in the industry.
Yeah, and dial in the tech. I mean, when people aren't testing their equipment, then they don't really know what they're putting out. And with specialty crops especially, growers want to see that coverage, that result, that everything is working. Everything you claim that's going down is actually going down. So those are things that we work very hard to dial in for them.
Right. And I mean, you can't do a bad job here, can you?
No, you really can't, because they all talk to each other and they have long memories.
Right.
So
I mean, they expect high results and stuff. I mean, these are high value crops. They do deserve the very best. So no, we're really glad. I'm really glad to be here. To be with we've got the drone loaded up here, and we're going to go over the trailer here with Nate a little bit here, but we're looking forward to going out and actually see this operate out in the wild.
We're super excited to be testing this model because of the built-in 3D mapping, the high volume output. Those are all things that we use every day in our operations. So being able to have that built in, we think is going to be a time saver and extremely beneficial to us.
Yeah, no, we're looking forward to seeing how it does out there. Nate here, Nate Knowles.
Yes, sir.
And maybe some of you have met him at some of the conferences. I'm sure, AgB's been really in the industry since the beginning, really.
2018, 2019, somewhere around there.
So you've seen it all.
Yeah.
We can do a shop tour and go through the history lessons, but
we definitely could.
Yeah. No, so Nate has really been on the ground floor. And one thing I wanted to do is really spend just a minute to look at, you guys have different rigs than we do in the Midwest. And in my area, we like to pull big trailers, maybe even semi-trailers, depending on what we're carrying. Tell us a little bit about what you're dealing with out here.
Well, for us, this is actually our third rig that we built. We too started with trailers. For us, being such a large region that we have to cover, security was a major issue. So most of our trailers are not open face, they're enclosed trailers. We started off with a 16-footer, and the drones were really small at that time, so it was accommodating for that. As time went on, we tried the double-decker thing, and we really had issues with access. Yes, there are times when we get out there and we do have the space, but we found even on the open veg crops that we deal with, turning some of those corners and getting into some of those field spaces, it didn't cut it.
So you're not like sitting in the middle. You can't go off the road, right? I mean,
no, not necessarily. And a lot of these roads are pretty busy. They're not.
Yeah. You got a lot of traffic.
You don't have open space like that.
Yeah.
And some of our largest fields, especially in the veg space, they're 40-acre plots, 20 to 40-acre plots. So you're moving around a lot.
So having like 2 and 3 of these things really doesn't make sense at the same time as just running one.
It does. It does at some point. Like we are trying to get to. We have 2 other rigs that we're currently building, and that'll function with 2 drones out of it. So we do have room for that, but we just don't have the space to being able to have the access and getting into all of these hard to reach areas.
Okay.
You get up into the avocado, a lot of the avocados and some of the citrus areas.
You're not going to turn a trailer around.
There's no way, and so you could hardly fit the truck in there.
Right.
So it just doesn't make sense.
You need to be adaptable. You need to have your water with you. So let's kind of go over your trailer here real quick. You can see the P150 Max fits right back here. So we got that slid in now. You can just throw that up on the back there, right?
Yep, you can, and you can even get one man out here functioning with this. We have 2 IBC totes, which is a total of 550 gallons of fresh water. We also like to leave some fresh water in our cone tanks here on the side. We have 250 gallon cone tanks. We ordered a specific brand of the cone tanks because it's in 5 gallon increments that the measurements are on the side. So it's a lot more precise. It helps you to double check your work as time's going on, you know.
So make sure you're putting out the right volume.
Making sure you're putting out the right volume and such. So we got about 800 gallons of fresh water, 300 gallons worth of mix. All of these boxes, you could actually remove panels on them to where everything opens up. Even behind the P150 Max here, there's a few more sections that we can bolt onto this to completely have this thing secure. Over here on the side, we have plenty of toolbox space for your PPE, any tools that might be required. We have a fresh water pump. Yep, empty jugs, your locking box for caging any of your chemicals. And then we have the fresh water pump that's in one of those locking boxes as well. Freshwater access.
And you can pull a trailer if you need more water, right?
And at times we pull the trailer if we have bigger jobs. We'll pull more water in there and even a larger mixing
water
system
around here. I mean, again, I don't think everybody's maybe familiar with this, but how much water are you putting out on these jobs? Like, you know, one thing that we've talked about since the very early days is, you know, water volume, because California's got some rules, right?
Yeah, and typically for us, you know, they're on the minimum on the label for aerial applications is typically 5 and 10 gallons an acre, with much of it being at 10 gallons an acre minimums. Even where 5 gallons an acre is allowed, typically on some of these specialty crops, 10 gallons an acre is what they would actually want. They're more, you know, concerned about coverage.
So we just put the 4 nozzle kit on here because we want to be able to put out the volume, right? That's the main thing. So, you know, normally a P150 Max is going to come with 2 nozzles on the back, but in your case, and especially, you know, we're talking about orchards, right? Yeah. What's important about orchards? We want to get that product, you know, deep penetration in the canopy, which means we want to fly slower, right?
Yep, we do fly a little bit slower, tend to fly a little bit slower, making sure you get the agitation within the canopy.
Pushing it down into the canopy. It's a little different than what, again, a lot of other people are dealing with, but I think it's a requirement here for sure. It's
definitely something that XAG did really good and put that concentration on. They went for the deep penetration in there. The 4 nozzle system, it really helps because at these higher volumes, you deal with the flooding issue on your disc.
Yes.
You know, and you'll have.
And we've talked about that in the past.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, in the past, I know with maybe the P100, before that 4 nozzle kit came out or whatever, they weren't able to actually give that, and you have that just spill over the top of that. And if you look at these discs,
slobbers, the
new discs on this, you can see that that's not going to be a case because they've actually really worked hard on that part. So we'll see that out in the field.
Yep, too. And that's definitely one of those situations where as a custom applicator, you need to really have an understanding of what you're looking at and test your swath.
Water capacity on here. You normally have tight spaces with your rigs where you're going. You have a security risk, you know, where you're traveling and you want to make sure things are kind of locked up and easy to kind of
out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah. So we're not getting those details, but I mean, it's just, you know, it's different things that we deal with in different parts of the world.
Absolutely.
And this is, especially in this area, this is a critical part of being adaptable, I think, because you have so many different crops. So many different crops. How many different crops do you think you sprayed probably?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you. One week we're concentrated on veg, the next it's habitat restoration and water resources, the next I'm, you know, up in the...
Could be anything.
Yeah, it really could.
You've got train...
greenhouses.
You go from train to nice flat areas out in the valley, or, you know, out in... like Fresno area, stuff like that. I mean, it's so different. You get really a little bit of everything here in California. So it's going to be kind of fun to go out here. But around here, vineyards, I see orchards. I see a lot of the oranges out there today.
Yeah, hillside stuff. We get avocados. A lot of avocados are grown down south here. Typically, any of the other stuff we're getting into is up north a little bit more. We actually get into a lot of greenhouse painting down here too.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So.
Well, honestly, yeah, thanks for giving me a little, you know, insight to what we're doing here and what things look like for California. I mean, I think that's important. You guys have seriously the expert opinion of that, and I'm just glad to be here. So let's go ahead and we're going to go out and check out some of the hillside and go do some flights out there today. Right? All right, so we're here at...
This is a vineyard in Temecula, California. The managing company is called Monte de Oro. You can see in the background here, we have a little bit of hilly terrain here. Right now it's...
I like how you say little, because it's not little for me. But anyway, that's okay. No, this looks great. I mean, honestly, it's gorgeous out here. Drone just got connected. I can hear sitting there. So,
yeah, getting her going. And as you can see, we have these tight fitted areas where we couldn't necessarily pull a trailer up in here. It really becomes problematic in those situations. Got to land pretty close to where the team's functioning at. But, you know, we've been tending these vines for the past, I think, 5 years.
You chose this spot on specific. Why do you choose this spot? Tell us.
It was close.
It was close. But no, sitting at this spot exactly here. Why do we sit here?
This specific spot, you have the best visibility. We want to be able to keep our eyes on the drone at all times. We want to make sure that it's doing an effective and efficient job at all times as well. So we picked this high spot. There's still a little lack of visibility that we get at one end of it. Yep. But I could keep eyes on the drone right here and make sure it's doing a good job for the majority of the flight.
Cool. Well, I'm excited. So we're going to run this. We want to try to do a couple tests here to run it in a couple different modes. So we're going to look at that. And we're going to just fly this train and see how it does handling the different slopes with it.
Have a look at the radar and terrain follow, huh?
Yes. Very, very important parts of the, obviously, you know, probably something worth mentioning is yeah, so the P150 Max, of course, as we've talked before in the past, is, you know, we have 2.5 times the processing power now. So that's a big deal. We've added 14 or another cell here. So instead of doing 13, we're doing 14 cells on each battery. So that's more power.
More lift.
Which is important when we're going up and down these hills. Motors have increased in size as well. And so in the aircraft, in the airframe is definitely lightened up a little. So we have, you know, that, and then we also are able to carry 21 gallons at the same time. So it'll be fun. We added our 4 nozzle kit here, so we've got that done and calibrated.
We're in it. This is typically early season. I typically do 5 gallons an acre here, but later on, as the canopy becomes more dense, we recommend later on in the season to do 10 gallon an acres, 10 gallons to the acre. So we're gonna go ahead and set it at 10 gallons to the acre and see what we're looking at.
That'll be great. We'll get a good look at how this runs. So awesome. Let's keep going. All right. Ready for our aerial mapping mission. And we've put up all of our spray nozzles because we don't need them right now. And what did we do here?
So we actually went out quite a bit past the area, only just because we might want to do some playing around in these back hills here. But that's going to be a separate situation. We just want to make sure we cover enough space to get all of our boundaries, our targeted boundaries in. But we're going to fly this at 200 feet in the mountain mode, and we're going to see what kind of 3D model we're going to get out of it.
Yep. So you're not only going to get a 3D model, but you're also going to get a nice picture. So again, like if
up-to-date picture.
An up-to-date picture that's not a satellite photo.
Exactly.
So this is a really handy tool for that. So
we're
going to go ahead and give this a shot. All right. I think we're clear. Let's go ahead. Summarize real quick. I mean, that's a pretty clean flight, huh?
Yeah, no doubt. That would definitely, the pattern was a lot better on that. The height was maintained. The majority of the time, it looked really nice. You even having the option to have those higher speeds or slow it down a little bit, right. Concentrate on that penetration. It was really nice. It did work well.
Yeah, and I think people don't realize the difference in modes. And I honestly, I think what's important to explain on this is if you fly guessing, right? I mean, it can't see what's in front of it. And so it's slower to realize what's going on in front of it.
There's always that delay.
Right, and it's processing as fast as it possibly can. It's thinking and trying to do that. And I'm not saying that it's not going to get better. It always is. But, knowing with a plan, having that map of the 3D area.
And being able to edit it if need be.
Right.
See it and edit it.
It didn't hesitate for a second.
No,
I mean, it made its corners. It was so efficient. The flight plan was substantially faster.
Yep.
I think I think it even flew probably more efficiently. I didn't check the batteries.
No stair stepping. It was nice.
Yeah. So I mean, I think there's kind of each mode has its place, and I think it has its
I agree. You got the downfall of that is you got to wait for processing time and such on some of these smaller fields. But at the end of it, are we effectively doing a better job?
Right. And how much time did we really spend mapping here?
Probably extra 15 minutes.
Yeah. So we had 15 minutes maybe, and we flew that. I mean, we could have probably flown that when we got here, right? Mm-hmm. And we would have been mixing up chemicals, probably getting stuff ready. So, I mean, you just got to figure and work it into your workflow, but you do it, and look at how fast and how great of a job it did.
Yeah. So, definitely is a nice option to have, especially with some of the citrus and avocado that we run into on the hillsides.
Yeah. Those hard to hit areas are
being able to map the terrain like that and follow it without it hesitating and jumping up and down and being able to concentrate on just being able to rely on it.
Yeah.
In those circumstances is ideal.